Rick Fearn is recognized as a leader, program builder, and athlete. He was a member of the Canadian national team prior to studying at Western, having participated in the 1967 Pan Am Games and winning silver in the Straight Four. While completing his MBA, Rick rowed for Western from 1966 to 1968. With his international level race experience, Rick catalyzed the transformation of rowing at Western from a gentleman's club to a high-performance program. With the goal of qualifying in 8 and 4 to participate in the 1968 Mexico Olympics, Rick's ambition led to the adoption of a more focused training program, the funding for new racing shells, and boat bay, ultimately laying the groundwork for the successful program and reputation that the program maintains to this day.
Well, Doc was more or less training gentlemen rowers in those days, people who would love the sport and row well. And when Rick came in with his UBC training methods, he elevated the whole program.
Fearn came to us from, he just competed at the Pan Am Games in '67, won a silver medal in the 4, and we had a real live rower. Wow, oarsman. You know, and he looked like it. He's tall, athletic, in good shape in those days. I have no idea what he's like now. And somehow galvanized us. And we started putting something together. It all of a sudden clicked. And out of the 4 crews that we entered at the university championships that year, 3 of us won. And then, after we won the university championships, he calls us together, and I can still remember that room. It's in the arts building on campus, and he basically stands up and he says, "Look, we've just won the university championships. The only other school that's won the university championships like us was UBC. And UBC went on to go to the Olympics." Now that was 1967. 1968 was, of course, Olympic year. And so Fearn, without batting an eyelid or breath, says, "They did it, so can we."
Rick was always thoroughly enthusiastic.
Someone who, that's more than one word, somebody who changed rowing at Western forever.
Rick was the captain and stroke in our crew. I had the job of looking at Rick every stroke in each workout and every race we ever competed in. I valued that time because Rick made me feel like I was an integral part of the crew. I was only 16 at the time, but for Rick, the only thing that mattered was how I performed. He had a fiercely competitive spirit. Man, he was driven. To me, his toughness was simply inspiring. One of the reasons why I continued to run on a regular basis is because of Rick's modeling. At the end of our race at the Olympic trials, I don't think Rick was surprised St. Catharines had won, but I'll never forget the look of satisfaction on his face when he found out we finished ahead of UBC. He took such great pleasure in beating the Thunderbirds.
Well, to get a boathouse, you needed Johnny Metras. And we went into Metras's office and we said, we want a boathouse to be built out at Fanshawe. And Metras sort of looked at us as if he'd just eaten something that violently disagreed with him. And during the conversation, as we're going along, we sort of said, well, that's okay, Metras, don't worry about it, we don't need it. Tell you what, the faculty and the students and a lot of people at Western have all donated money to buy these 2 new boats. But we can't afford a house. And anyway, that's not that's not really what we should be about. But when the barn collapses and these 2 new boats get crushed, we don't mind telling people why we don't have a boathouse. We had a boathouse. Metras changed his tune. And I can still remember Fearn looking at him and saying, "Yep, this is blackmail."
Rick was definitely the driving force to make us believe in ourselves and to try harder. Between he and Doc, there was never any time that we were allowed to take it easy. Rick was always driving us harder. He was the one that was the most athletic, I think, and probably enjoyed putting us through the pain of doing squat jumps on the top of the Fanshawe Dam, which is the one thing I remember that I least like. Loved the rowing, didn't like the squad job.
In our case, we had a terrible situation because we just brought this beautiful Donoradigo 4. Oh, we were so proud of it. We actually unpacked it on the day of the trial. Put it on the water, it went on the water against the UBC crew. And the UBC crew couldn't steer worth a damn. And literally, about 10 meters, 20 meters before the finishing line, therefore crashes into R4, smashes the hull, and our brand new, beautiful boat goes down, leaving 4 heads bobbing in the water. And the St. Catherine's rowing course at that time, I think, was the municipal sewer. I can still see it in my mind's eye.